Kindness is often portrayed as the ultimate virtue, the golden key to better relationships, inner peace, and a meaningful life. From childhood, we're told to be kind, no matter what. But what if the way most people practice kindness isn't strength, but weakness in disguise? What if the stories we've been told about kindness only show the light and never the shadows? The truth is, kindness isn't always what it seems. It can build strong bonds, inspire change, and bring out the best in people. But it can also silently drain you, distort your identity, and invite manipulation if not practiced with wisdom. Stoic philosophy, known for its clarity and emotional discipline, approaches kindness differently. For the Stoics, kindness is not about pleasing everyone. It's about living in alignment with reason, strength, and virtue. In this video, we're going to explore 8 brutal truths about kindness that almost no one talks about. Truths that, once understood, will change the way you give, receive, and protect your kindness. Some of these truths may be uncomfortable, but they're essential if you want your kindness to come from strength rather than fear. Section 1. The hidden motives behind kindness. Most people believe they're kind simply because they want to do good. But if you look a little deeper, you'll often find unspoken motives behind acts of kindness. Many of us give not purely out of virtue, but because we crave something in return: approval, love, validation, or a sense of safety. We help others because we want to be liked. We say yes because we fear rejection. We go out of our way for people because we hope they'll do the same for us. This doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you human. But here's the problem. When kindness is driven by hidden motives, it becomes fragile. If people don't react the way you hoped, you feel hurt, disappointed, or even resentful. That's because your kindness wasn't unconditional. It was a transaction, whether you realized it or not. The Stoics were clear about this. They taught that true kindness must flow from reason and virtue, not from insecurity or the desire to control outcomes. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to act with sincerity, expecting nothing in return. When you give simply because it's the right thing to do, not because you're trying to shape someone's response, your kindness becomes unshakable. It no longer depends on how others treat you. Understanding your motives is the first step toward purifying your actions. The next time you act kindly, pause and ask yourself, am I doing this out of genuine goodwill or because I need something back? This simple moment of self-awareness transforms kindness from a habit of fear into a practice of strength. Section 2. Kindness without boundaries. Becomes self-betrayal. Kindness without boundaries isn't kindness, it's self-abandonment. Many people believe that to be a good person, they must always say yes, always help, and always put others first, no matter the cost. But in reality, when your kindness ignores your own limits, you slowly begin to betray yourself. You give until you're exhausted. You tolerate behavior that hurts you. You allow others to cross lines that you never should have allowed. The Stoics believed that living with virtue requires self-governance, the ability to manage your thoughts, actions, and energy with wisdom. If you can't protect your boundaries, then your kindness isn't truly virtuous. It's simply uncontrolled. Saying yes when you want to say no might keep others happy temporarily, but deep down, it creates resentment and emotional fatigue. Every time you betray your own needs for the sake of pleasing someone else, you send a message to yourself, my limits don't matter. And when you do that often enough, you start to lose your sense of identity. Your kindness becomes less about genuine care and more about survival, about keeping the peace at any cost. True kindness doesn't ignore your boundaries. It operates within them. It allows you to give without resentment and help without losing yourself in the process. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself and others is to set a clear, calm limit. Because when you respect your own boundaries, others learn to respect them too. Section 3. People often mistake kindness for weakness. Here's a brutal truth. In today's world, kindness is often misinterpreted as weakness. When you're always agreeable, always accommodating, and never willing to assert yourself, people start to assume they can take advantage of you. Some may not do it maliciously. They simply follow the path of least resistance. Others, however, deliberately exploit this softness. Stoic philosophy makes a sharp distinction between being kind and being weak. A kind person can remain calm, respectful, and generous, even in the face of hostility. But a weak person avoids confrontation out of fear. The Stoic ideal is to combine kindness with inner strength, to be firm without being cruel, and generous without being naive. Think about it. The people who command real respect are rarely the ones who try to please everyone. They're the ones who stand firm in their values, who can say no without guilt, and who give from a place of choice, not compulsion. When kindness isn't backed by strength, it's often ignored. But when kindness is grounded in clarity and self-respect, it becomes powerful. Kindness should never require you to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. If your kindness isn't respected, it's a sign that strength needs to walk beside it. Section 4. Not everyone deserves your kindness. This may sound harsh, but it's one of the most important truths to understand. Not everyone deserves your kindness. Kindness is powerful, but when it's offered blindly, without discernment, it can be exploited by those who have no respect for it. Some people see kindness as an invitation to take advantage, to manipulate, or to use you for their own benefit. Stoic philosophy teaches the value of discernment. The Stoics were kind, but they weren't naive. They believed in treating others with justice and reason, not emotional dependency. Extending kindness to someone who consistently disrespects you or takes without giving isn't virtue, it's waste. It's not your duty to fix or save everyone. In fact, sometimes the most compassionate act you can offer is distance. When you keep giving to those who drain you, you're not just hurting yourself, you're enabling their behavior. This doesn't mean becoming cold or bitter. It means recognizing that your kindness has value, and it shouldn't be placed in the hands of people who consistently misuse it. Be kind, but also be wise. When you learn to direct your kindness toward people and situations that align with your values, it becomes a force for real good, not a weakness to be exploited. Section 5. Overkindness can block growth, yours and theirs. One of the most overlooked truths about kindness is that too much of it, in the wrong places, can actually prevent growth. When you're constantly stepping in to help, fix, or protect others, you may unintentionally shield them from the very challenges that would make them stronger. Think about a friend who keeps making the same mistakes, and every time you're there to clean up the mess, or a coworker who avoids responsibility because they know you'll always pick up the slack. Your intentions might be good, but your actions are keeping them from facing reality. The Stoics believed deeply in the power of struggle and adversity to shape character. Marcus Aurelius wrote that obstacles are not barriers. They are the path. By constantly removing obstacles for others, you deny them the opportunity to grow. The same applies to your own growth. If you're always being nice to avoid conflict, you're also avoiding the uncomfortable conversations that would make you emotionally stronger. Overkindness keeps you stuck in a cycle of emotional safety, but personal evolution requires courage. The courage to let people learn their lessons and the courage to stand in your truth. Real kindness supports growth. It encourages others to rise, not to lean endlessly. It respects your own development while allowing others to face theirs. Section 6. Kindness can be a mask for fear. Many people present kindness as a moral choice, but deep down, it often hides something more uncomfortable. Fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of conflict. Fear of being disliked. So instead of expressing their true feelings or setting boundaries, they put on a mask of endless politeness, hoping to maintain peace and win acceptance. But here's the truth. When kindness becomes a shield for fear, it stops being genuine. You're not being kind because you truly want to. You're being kind because you're afraid of what will happen if you're not. This is where resentment begins to grow silently, because your outer behavior doesn't match your inner truth. The Stoics believed that courage was essential to a virtuous life. They didn't avoid discomfort, they faced it head-on, guided by reason. True kindness isn't about avoiding hard conversations or pretending to agree when you don't. It's about showing up with honesty, even when it's uncomfortable. If you find yourself constantly saying yes to avoid upsetting others, or holding back your truth to keep everyone happy, it's worth asking, am I being kind? Or am I being afraid? Real kindness requires courage. The courage to speak clearly, act with integrity, and trust that honesty builds stronger connections than fear ever could. Section 7. Society rewards performative kindness, not genuine virtue. We live in a world where kindness is often performed for attention rather than practiced as a way of life. Social media celebrates viral acts of generosity, public declarations of empathy, and perfectly curated moral personas. But what often goes unseen is the quiet, consistent, genuine kindness that happens with no cameras, no applause, and no validation. The Stoics would have recognized this difference instantly. They emphasized inner character over outer image. For them, virtue is something you practice for its own sake, not to be seen, liked, or praised. But modern culture often rewards the opposite. People who perform kindness publicly, even if their private actions don't match. This performative kindness can be dangerous. It creates pressure to look good instead of being good. It encourages people to act kind for social approval rather than from authentic intention. Over time, this leads to a shallow understanding of virtue, one that's built on perception, not substance. True kindness doesn't need an audience. It doesn't demand recognition. It's quiet, consistent, and deeply rooted in who you are when no one's watching. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our character, and let go of how others perceive it. When you stop performing kindness and start living it authentically, your actions become more powerful, more grounded, and more real. Section 8. The highest form of kindness is rooted in strength at its core. The highest form of kindness is not soft, it's strong. It doesn't come from fear of rejection or a desire to be seen as good. It comes from inner stability, self-respect, and moral clarity. When your kindness is backed by strength, it becomes unshakable. It's not swayed by manipulation, external pressure, or the need for validation. The Stoics understood this deeply. For them, virtue was not about pleasing others. It was about aligning your actions with reason and nature. True kindness means you can say no without guilt, give without expecting, and remain calm even when others misunderstand you. It's not loud or flashy, it's steady and deliberate. When kindness flows from strength, it doesn't deplete you, it empowers you. You give because it aligns with your values, not because you're trying to fill an emotional gap. You set boundaries clearly, speak truthfully, and treat others with respect, whether or not they return it. And because your kindness is rooted in strength, it commands respect rather than begging for it. This is the Stoic vision of kindness, not fragile, but firm. Not something that weakens you, but something that reflects your deepest strength. When you reach this level, kindness stops being a burden and becomes your quiet power. Conclusion: kindness is beautiful. It has the power to heal, connect, and elevate humanity. But kindness that is unconscious, fearful, or without boundaries can slowly erode your confidence and distort your relationships. These 8 brutal truths aren't meant to make you cynical. They're meant to make you wise. The Stoics never rejected kindness. They refined it. They believed that true kindness must be practiced with discernment, honesty, and strength. When you understand your motives, set clear boundaries, and give with courage, your kindness transforms. It stops being a tool for others to use and becomes a reflection of your highest character. Take a moment to reflect. Where in your life has your kindness become fear-driven or self-betraying? And where can you start aligning it with strength and clarity? If this message resonated with you, like this video and subscribe for more Stoic philosophy and mindset lessons. Share this video with someone who gives too much. They might need this truth more than they realize. And tell me in the comments, which of these 8 truths hit you the hardest? Your insight might help someone else break free. Remember, kindness is powerful, but only when it's rooted in strength. Practice it wisely, live it fully, and let it reflect the best of who you are.